Welcome back to Bernama today. My name is Zaini Yohi. Ladies and gentlemen, United Nations has said, the statistics say that Malaysia is an aging society. The aging society is where 7% of our population is 65 and above. And we are encroaching, we are going into the age society, whereby 14% will be that 65 and above, which will happen in the next maybe 25 years. And we are beating France to it. France took 115 years to get to the age society. So kudos to our medical system, whereby our medical benefits and all that, we are making our lifespan longer and longer. That's one good thing. But the aging society needs a certain care, I think a certain focus by the private sectors as well as the government sectors. In that regard, we have invited specially to the Bernama Today, Dr. Ijaz Ahmad Chowdhury. Welcome to Bernama Today, Doctor. Vice President of the Aged Care Service Providers Malaysia, also Chairman of Noble Care. Care to tell us about Noble Care.
Thank you for having me here. And first of all, I will just comment on your intro.
Right.
You have very nicely explained the need of the aged care, because Malaysia actually is now going for an aged community. In next 10 to 20 years, the population will be in millions. Now almost 3.5 million old people in Malaysia. In 2035, the expected is 4.5 million.
It's a lot.
Is a lot. So it's almost around 14-15% of the population.
Wow.
And we need to do something for the aged care communities. So as my working before, I have been working with the old communities. Almost it's my 25th years of my life, helping the old folks in their in their homes, in their nursing homes, in the old folks homes. In Malaysia, we have developed the Aged Care Association of the service providers.
Okay.
So we started in 2016 with under the support of UPM University. Tuanku ASEAN was heading the project. So then we developed Aged Care Association for the whole Malaysia to develop some protocols, to develop some new structure for the coming era, coming 10 to 20 years, because we are not prepared for this.
Right.
Unluckily, I will say that medical science has developed great things, but we cannot escape the aging process. I always
natural process.
This is a natural process. Even you spend millions, you cannot reverse your aging process. And while you are crossing your milestone like 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, you are not lucky enough to get a prime minister at 93 years of age.
That's proof that when you're maybe that age or maybe younger, you can still contribute to the society.
You can still. This is a very good thing. It's a very positive thinking about that. But you are actually unique in the billions of people.
One in a million.
One in the millions. So I was telling you, you cannot escape the process of aging. So what to do? You have to prepare for that. If you cannot escape at anything, so you have to prepare for that. So you have to develop strategies, you have to develop plans, you have to develop your budget and funding and future prospectus.
Okay, in that regard, I mean, I know you are a privately run organization. Tell us a bit about that, because I know running this kind of centers is not costing 1 or 2 ringgit kind of thing. You know, it costs a lot of money to run, and you are a self-funded organization. And how do you do that?
It's very interesting. When I started Noble Care, I had an experience of NGOs, working with NGOs all over, almost all over the world. I noted that there is a big need in Malaysia to take care of the elderly, because I must tell you, not all the people are rich. And not all the people are lucky to have sufficient funds for their old age. So what to do for the old people who have no families, who have no children, or who are abandoned? Sometimes they have children, but the cruel children have abandoned them.
The cruel children,
I must say the cruel. So when we see these people, they need the life what we are doing, what you suggest for your old mother or father, they must be given the same thing. So I developed a sustainable model, Noble Care.
Noble Care.
Noble Care. Noble is a word that I chose. Noble Care is working for the old people when they are in need. For example, if an old person is homeless, so he will be transferred to our home. We will give him all the facilities of life, like food, accommodation.
Free of charge?
Free of charge.
Really?
Now, where the funds is coming, the most important thing that people are interested to know.
Yeah.
I developed a sustainable model. We developed the VVIP homes, 5-star living homes, retirement homes, and we developed the old folks home for the poor communities.
Okay.
So that we have a business element, we have a earning wing, and we have a spending wing. That is the sustainability, and with this process we are very well sustainable.
So the VVIP resort you're talking about will help churn the funds to run this
because the rich people, the children can afford to pay, so we get some almost 20-30% of the profit to run our 40% segment of the charity and welfare.
Right.
So that is why we are 100% sustainable.
Right.
We no need even a single cent from the government.
Okay.
But we can give a good platform to the government, because in the coming years, if the government will not be prepared, that will be a big issue. The old people, I fear, I'm scared that if the government will not plan, you may see the old people on the footpath or like other third world countries.
Right. I mean, right now, Doctor, we know that the issue right now is on everybody's mind, is on the care of the young ones because of the abuse, because of the neglect and all that. And basically, these old age or aged people are being like neglected by maybe society because no issues have been highlighted. So what is your mission to highlight this to the government and to the community?
Okay, now everybody, I tell you, everybody plan his kids, children. You plan your marriage, you plan your Hari Raya, you plan your weekends or the holidays.
That's right.
But unluckily, even I challenge my viewers and my friends. You sit down, and if you are in 60s or 70s, and you just imagine, have you planned anything for your future? The answer will be no. You are waiting for some unwanted thing, like people get a fracture, people get a stroke, people are diagnosed with cancer, and then they, at that stage, they just imagine. For example, I have a friend, couple doctors, they are retired in their 70s and 80s, have been serving the health department. All their children, 5 or 6 children, I think they are overseas. Now the children don't want to come back.
Don't take care of them.
Don't want to take care of them. So this is a wrong planning. So we have to plan. I always say that if you have an old mother, what is the fun doing business in US or Australia? Why not you do work in Malaysia? You take care of your mother, because you see, if you see the philosophy of Islam or religion, even you cannot go for Hajj or Umrah or Jihad if your mother is sick or your father is sick.
Islamic teaching.
Islamic teaching. So there is no way you have to neglect or you have
your
to
parents. But in this regard, I mean, you are providing a very comfortable or convenient place for the elderly, but you are giving them an avenue to put their parents. But in Malaysian culture, we are saying that if you put your old folks, your parents, in this kind of homes, you are a bad child. Right? Unlike in the States and the UK, maybe they are planning this because they know they can plan to put it there, to put them in old folks' home. But Malaysia has that taboo, But in that virtue, I guess the government also does not want to create this kind of facilities, maybe because condoning the children to put in these kind of facilities. But you're doing it anyway.
Actually, now the culture things are changed now. There is a need. Actually, I tell you, this is not by choice. This is need-based.
Necessity.
Elder care, retirement homes, old folks home is a necessity. This is no choice. For example, if you are a single child and sibling, and then your parents are old, and you have to do a job for your family, for your bread and butter, for your running your life. So if you want to work 8 hours a day, you cannot spend a whole night, wake up with your dementia father or mother with dementia or some other illness. So you have to think this. This is a need-based thing. Neglect is there when you are okay, you are healthy, you are living around. I have few old people, the children are living in KL. Last month I think I visited one of my branch at Old Klang Road. One old lady, Indian lady, was crying. I asked, what is the problem, auntie? She told me, my son is living in KL. For the last 3 months, he had not even a single visit to me.
No visit.
Yeah.
That's neglect.
That is the neglect. Another neglect is that you know that your parents are old. For example, if a 80-year-old or 85-year-old mother or father are there in KL or in Ipoh, why you are going to Switzerland or Australia? This is my
Colder
question.
there.
Yeah, this is the abuse to the parents, and this is a neglect to the parents. And I always insist that, please, and then to be very very straightforward, I asked one of visitors, a Chinese fellow came to me. He said, I want to marry, and I want to marry in UK. I wanted to go there with my spouse, and then please, you admit my mother here. I asked, what is the age of your mother? He said, my mother is almost around 84 years. I said, why not you wait for a few years, let her die peacefully? Why you want to make a miserable life?
Marriage cannot wait. Okay, coming to your Noble Care or your how many branches do you have right now, and where?
Okay, I tell you very interesting thing. We started with one, then with the passage of time, it was filled within 6 months' time. Then we opened a new home. It was filled within the next 6 months' time. Now we are operating almost 20 branches.
Seriously?
All over Malaysia. We are in Malacca, Johor Bahru, Ipoh, Klang, Rawang, Kuala Pila, some other places. And because I tell you, this is a need based. The aging community is growing in numbers, and there is no proper outlets for them. And one other thing I must add, you must find a professional home. Professional home means that the old person does not need a simple maid to take care of her. The old person need a set of professionals around him. You need a doctor, you need a physiotherapist, you need a psychologist around you.
Not just a bed.
Not just a maid, because even sometimes the people, they say, oh, my father is living in Subang Jaya and I have 2 maids for him. Then I always scold them, the maid is not a choice. You should have a medical professional, because the old age is almost accompanied by illnesses. You have to understand what is the blood sugar level.
Especially psychology as well.
Psychology, the happiness, the wellness. The old age is not that like a pet, you put an old folk in a house, you feed him like a pet, like giving him food or water or something.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't
needs
work.
a paradigm shift.
Actually, he needs wellness, he needs a freshness in his mind. And one thing this is my message to the public and the audience, my friends, your parents don't need a 5-star home. Your parents want to see you. Your parents want to see your grandchildren. They want to play
in your family.
Yeah, they want to play with the children. They want to see the children. They want to talk to you. They know
emotional
level. Catharsis, the psychology, the wellness, the wellness of mind. So one of my doctor's friend in GH hospital, he told me that dementia is getting worse. More and more people are diagnosed with dementia. I said, if you are in a home confinement, also like a solitary confinement in a jail, you will definitely get dementia. The old
self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, because there is no catharsis to the old people. You close them in a small home and then you just keep them closed. Sometimes I see few friends, I see some people, they give me stories that they lock the door in the morning, they put some food for the lunch.
It's just like an animal.
Just like animals. So this is not a good behavior. That's why, coming to the point, there is a need for the Noble Care homes or the old folk homes, and the government should come forward, because this is the at least not in terms of terms of monitoring or financing. It should be supervised. Yeah, like our association, the Aged Care Operator Association, we will have a supervisory role.
It's a professional outfit.
It's a professional.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ijaz. Your time is very, very short, but at least you got your message across that old age is nothing to put aside. It is beckoning on us. So thank you, Dr. Ijaz, for coming here under Noble Care. So it's just the message is, ladies and gentlemen, take care of your old folks, but if not, put them in a place whereby they can be taken care of professionally, and also the government should come in and play a part, even though Noble Care can be self-sustaining, but they can use some help along the way to make our